is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
We got some jokey leaders in a jokey town. Us, what a bunch of clowns. They're joking and they're jiving, but they're messing around. We got some jokey leaders, what a bunch of clowns.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Print Masters, Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited, and Tropical Gyros.
So Parliament must see a jokey place. Cause all I see is laughing when I look in at their face. They chuckling and giggling like something sweet in there. We drowning in crime, boy, ain't no jokes out here. The Parliament is a circus. Watch how they just flaunt, just juggling and jiving, say any mess they want. Watch when they on TV, they like counting sheep. They eating and they're laughing, or they fast asleep.
You've got it locked and loaded to the Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. along with my better half, MJ, on this hot Wednesday edition. Yep. Glad you are here.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
It's a hot day.
It is.
Very hot. And, we got a great show lined up for you. We have two very special guests. I'm going to get to them in short order, right to the break. All I want to do is let you know if you want to chime in and be part of this conversation today, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in 332-325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the family islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Well, MJ, as promised,
yes,
straight off of Bay Street in front of the House of Assembly.
Yes.
Via a quick break for lunch.
Short break.
We have our very special guest, Bahamas Union of Teachers. Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress, Ms. Belinda Wilson, president, of course, and, of course, from the Bahamas Public Services Union, Mr. Kingsley Ferguson. Want to welcome you guys to the show.
Welcome.
First time having you out here, so welcome, to our house and our platform. And obviously, we have lots to talk about, and we appreciate you being here because you all had an early day, and you've been running up and down. You've been, Miss Wilson, you've been running up and down. You used to run track in high school or something.
I used to run track.
We could tell, yeah.
And I had to run behind the
Prime Minister had you running today.
Ran in his car.
Yeah.
From the people.
And I didn't know where he brought that speed from, but I heard that it's 40 yards from the door of Parliament to his car. And he actually did that in 4.6. So for a man his age to run a 4.6 40.
That's excellent. Moving fast.
He could probably beat some tight ends in the NFL today. But
Maybe.
Obviously, at some point, we have to hear from the Prime Minister. And I mean, first question I have for you guys, for both of you. This process has been long. It has been arduous. We have followed it in the press over the months. How frustrating has this been for both of you in your capacities?
Okay. The process started around May.
Correct.
When the Prime Minister spoke in the budget communication. He then on June the 4th spoke again. And on June the 18th, the Minister of Labor and the Public Service backed up what the Prime Minister said while others were there beating on the desk, that public servants will receive a salary increase. So once that announcement was made in May, I right away communicated with the Prime Minister. You know, I also said, thank you for the gift that you gave to the public service based on the salary review. We never said that we negotiated that salary increase, because I've negotiated many salary increases, but we never took this salary increase. This salary increase, the Prime Minister said, is from the goodness of his heart. No, it was supposed to be from a salary review that they said was comprehensive.
Okay.
We got the review on October the 13th to only say that it is not.
But didn't you request that prior to?
Months.
And who's directly responsible for discharging it? Mr. Halkitis and Mr. Wilson?
That's finance.
Okay.
So we waited for this document for 5 months, only to discover that it includes middle managers. And someone explained to me today, it's the first assistant secretary and second assistant secretary, permanent secretaries, those in the hierarchy.
What we would consider senior positions.
Hierarchy, those who are making the big bucks.
Right.
So, again, last night in the report, national address, the Prime Minister said a comprehensive covering the public service. That is not so.
So
It is
he's
here.
misspoken again.
He did. It is here, and it says who it covers.
And is there...
So when you talk about teachers, nurse, police, defense force,
Just for the listeners, for those of you not watching online or on cable channel 969 or BTC Flow channel, we actually have the documents in perusing them right now. So it's not a case of hearsay. We're seeing say right now. And my question is, what happened to the line staff, to the everyday frontline workers who got to do, for lack of a better word, and I mean this with no disrespect,
let him speak.
the grunt work to make this country go?
Most of the line staff belongs to his union.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr.
Good
Mr.
afternoon, Naughty and
MJ.
Your Excellency MJ
Oh, goodness.
and Bahamas. You know, the amazing thing about it, Ms. Wilson used the word comprehensive.
Yeah.
This report is confined to senior management in the public service. And so it's categorized by persons like the treasurer, the commodore of the defense force, the commissioner of police, the undersecretaries who act in the capacity of permanent secretaries in their absence, the treasurer from the public treasury. These are senior government
Very senior.
officials.
Yeah.
And so this particular report does not have anything in it that speaks to the people that are part of our bargaining unit. And so, hence, it cannot be comprehensive.
No.
Now, what is glaringly noticeable is if it has the deputy financial secretary, then where's the financial secretary in this? And the permanent secretaries. And so, again, it appears as if some separate arrangement would have been made for permanent secretaries that they didn't want us to be aware of.
And you didn't broker it,
or
obviously,
the
on your behalf,
public
in your capacity.
to be aware of. And so while whatever we bargain for as a union, every public servant gets it.
Covers them as well.
Exactly. And so what we see in this particular document is senior management. This would not explain the question that we've been asking for months now, who is mid-management? And so we know that there were some financial and accounting officers captured in this particular document as well. Some executive officers. We're also been made aware that there were some scales created unawares to the union just to accommodate particular people who should not have been in this particular document or exercise. And so again, there's nothing in the document that speaks to the people that we represent.
So the vast majority of your members, is there going to be a comprehensive review such as this that includes them?
Like a separate review?
When is that going to happen?
If you listen to the Prime Minister's speech on last night, Monday, the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Miller, indicated that they would use the methodology that was used in this document to calculate for these people, to calculate for our people. So it's suggesting that nothing was done and is being done. And so it's suggesting to me, I'm not a technocrat when it comes to money,
Okay.
but it's suggesting to me that you weren't even giving consideration to our people.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, on the face of it, that's what it kind of sounds like. So what is your position now?
Okay, what our position is first of all, we are union leaders and we have thousands of members. If the Prime Minister, or not if, the Prime Minister made an announcement.
Right.
So from that announcement, intelligent leaders want to know, and that's us.
Right.
He said the raise will be between 2% and 8%. We have various categories of workers. So we need to know who's getting the 2% and 2% of what?
Right.
Is it of your salary? Is it of the entry level? Is it of the maximum of the scale? Is it of the minimum of the scale? We don't know.
Sounds there's like a ton of gray areas in this.
And further, this has been going on since May. You still don't even know what the increase covers. They still have not told you?
Up to not produced for the Prime Minister in that meeting because I gave an example. I said, Prime Minister, you gave instructions months ago.
Right.
For me to receive the documentation. So that's the listing of the teachers and the public service, the names, who's getting how much and when. I said, and we come back all these months later, and the financial secretary, the permanent secretary, has not provided the documentation for you, which you instructed them to give to us. So she said it's 17,000 persons to be paid. So my question through the Prime Minister to her was, if you were working on what it is that he articulated from May, let's just go to May.
Right.
Then you should be able to provide to the Prime Minister today that, sir, we've completed 10,000. We have 7,000 left. And it will take us 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks to complete those because we don't want to pay piecemeal or we don't want to pay some people here and some people there.
Right.
She had nothing, zero to provide. The Prime Minister turned and asked the Permanent Secretary of Finance, how many of the persons y'all have calculated thus far? Zero.
Wait a minute. So because if you're not able to produce that information this week, because you had the meeting on Monday, correct?
October the 13th. Keep that
Okay.
in mind, MJ.
Okay. And the payments
Was supposed to be September.
It's supposed to be September. So we're past what we expected as the deadline for you to receive the payments. We're way past that now. We're in October. And you still can't say how many persons you've calculated for as yet.
And what the calculations are for that.
So how could they be
specific
paid
raises.
if your internal technocrats in the Ministry of Finance did not follow your instructions and did not present to you the calculations and the numbers? Because I said, okay, you said it's 17,000 persons to be paid. What's the total money?
They don't know to this, or didn't share that information.
I don't think they know. Because
You don't
how
think they
could you know if you did not calculate it as yet?
I'm thinking at this stage of the game, if they're going to provide that and they had other information, then they need to provide that other information as well.
Remember, she
So
said
I have to lean, considering this track record of this administration, where is it? I need to see it to believe it that it exists, because obviously if I don't see it, I can't believe, based on your track record, that it does exist.
I'm wondering, though, if it is the case that they don't have this information, or it's the case that they didn't want to share the information
I
with you.
believe it's the case that they have disrespected the Prime Minister. And I told him this Monday, because if your boss gave you instructions weeks or even months ago, and you come in a meeting and you're unable to provide that which he instructed you to do, that's the problem.
The Prime Minister is saying that December, but I think he uses the term often by Christmas. That's not a firm date, but he keeps saying by Christmas, everyone will be
no, he
paid.
said before Christmas.
Oh, sorry, before Christmas. So,
yeah.
But
no.
before Christmas could be the 23rd, it
We
could
agree.
be the 18th,
We
it could
agree.
be, it could be
It could
December
be-
1st. Listen,
It could be
and let me just go on record.
11:59 on the 24th.
Let me just go on record. The PM has done a lot of things wrong in handling this situation, but the one thing I got to give him credit for is he said, not a day later than Monday. And when he realized that meeting was going to Tuesday, he canceled that bad boy down. That's the only thing that he stuck up to his word on this whole time, that it would not go beyond Monday. Because everything else, based on what is going on with the finances in our country.
But let me tell you now.
Like, what is going on? Like, the people don't check for the PM. Like, just totally how Ketis, no assignment wasn't, all right, yeah, whatever, we'll get it to you when you get it to you. What's going on?
The Monday happened because of my insistence. I can say that to you.
I know.
And
we saw the video.
And we provided the agenda ourselves.
Right.
But they were trying to push it to Tuesday. I said no, because we realized the Prime Minister has to go to the National Heroes investiture. So we said we will meet then for 1 hour, and it was agreed that we will meet 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So the way that they even wrote their press release,
and then you go
was
and talk to the
disingenuous.
Prime Minister and spook him and get him scared.
And
then you get Harry and say, I ain't coming to no meeting.
I told him the same thing that I told him last week Wednesday. If the meeting does not happen, or it is unsatisfactory, we will come back today.
But that was clearly made, like you said, and that went viral. That went on all the news outlets. That went on all the social media. It was abundantly clear. And then it was followed up by Mr. Ferguson saying, we'll run one the length and the breadth of the nation if we have to. So, I mean, it was clearly, the union has been vocal on this. You've made it abundantly clear your position. It's shameful that this administration cannot present their position and doesn't even have the information in order to rectify the situation as expeditiously as they can.
Let me say, one of the things that we said to the Prime Minister on Monday was, if you had involved us initially,
Right.
we would not have all this turmoil and chaos now. What I viewed from a number of things that the government was doing is they were doing the grandstanding and trying to have a one-up on unions to send a message to persons that unions are not relevant.
You don't need the
in this
unions.
hour.
We'll just give you, we
And
don't even have to go through them.
But
Right.
the exercise, if I can call it that, clearly shows that unions are necessary and very relevant in this day and in this time, and particularly union leaders that have integrity.
Yeah. I think that picture is clear to a lot of Bahamians.
But I'd like to read a brief note. I'll just give the date. I would have written Mrs. Gina Thompson on the 1st of May, 2025, because I was bombarded with calls about monies that public servants were supposed to have been getting.
Okay.
And I knew nothing about it. And so I wrote her a communication, reference to proposed salary review. I didn't get a response until probably 3 weeks later. And all she was able to tell me is, yes, it's happening, but she can.
No dates.
Now, it is very, very disappointing that the person who's responsible for human resource concerns in the public service, something can be happening for the people that they manage, and they're unaware of it.
Yeah.
Now, there was a back and forth between Mrs. Wilson and myself, and she was saying, well, man, the minister don't know, man. I say, man, she got to know, Madam President. And we saw something in the meeting on Monday where I agreed with her that she couldn't have known.
That is
Because
interesting.
this came forth like a bullet, and there was some amazement
Really?
on her face when this document was presented to us.
Wow.
You
Now,
think she's
I ain't
not
trying
aware?
to.
You don't know, but
I
it
ain't
just
trying to
appeared.
exonerate nobody here today.
No, I understand.
Right?
We could read between the lines.
But I concluded she couldn't have known something. Me believe that she was aware of some stuff. Every time comments were made concerning this, she was talking. So if you ain't know nothing, keep your mouth shut.
I want to ask you one more quick question before we get
Callers,
to the
we
phone
see you. We'll
lines.
get to you in a
Callers, we
second.
will
Just
get you in a
continue
moment.
your patience.
But we listened to the Prime Minister's address last night, and the sum and substance of the address seemed to come down to, we had a meeting, there was shouting, and I think the phrase was, brave don't do cussing and carrying on. What do you guys think about the Prime Minister characterizing the meeting that you had on Monday in that way? Was it a contentious meeting?
I think it was a cop-out. And it was a cop-out because the Prime Minister was unable to... Well, first of all, I think it was a waste of 15 minutes honestly, to really, what he did was attack me subtly and then say it was a rowdy meeting and a cussing meeting. No one cussed. But he was told strongly,
Right.
Mr. Prime Minister, you're weak. Because the people that sit around you, whom you are giving instructions to, are not carrying it out, and it's making you look bad.
Gotcha.
And I reiterated what I said last week Wednesday. When I come to Parliament today, I am not coming to hold your hand. So I think it was a cop-out because he was unable. Because for me, if you're going to spend 15 minutes talking about an issue that's now, he should have been saying, just letting y'all know that all civil servants will get $20.
Specifics.
I'm letting y'all know that I really cannot pay you the $20 October.
Until,
but
right.
definitely November payday. And yes, we may have had a meeting, and we did not have the second meeting, but I will ensure that your leaders have the information. That's what a leader does. Leaders lead, but he being wagged. Persons are writing things.
But I've often said the inmates are running this asylum for sure.
For him to read, that isn't even the Prime Minister characteristics.
Yeah, it was a pre-recorded address. Obviously, it was quite clear.
All right,
that's
let's get
the
to
case.
these two phone calls, these several phone calls. Talking heads.
Good evening. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank Mr. Ferguson and Ms. Belinda for being champions of the people as it relates to this issue here with public servants. I've had the opportunity to join them on both occasions that they've presented themselves and led the Bahamian people downtown. And you guys are doing a commendable job. One of the things that I think is that I see the government not even glossing over or barely wants to mention, and the thing I think that is the most vexing of this entire issue is when the pronouncements were made and the guesses were banged on, it was said that these persons would be paid retroactively from September 2024.
We are going to get into that. Yeah.
See, that part right there, a lot of people are missing that.
Yep, we're going to go into
that. And there's a major, major difference in wanting to now pay people retroactively only for the period by which you now seem to need people to wait until you get your issue order paid.
And caller, you know what it's like when you expecting a gunk, you looking and circling that date, and you expecting the gunk. You ain't expecting portion, you want the whole enchilada.
Naughty, let's think about how the Bahamian people live. Let's look at the central bank thing that said, the average Bahamian don't have this much. That tells any leader how we operate or what the circumstances are with us as a people. Whether it be teachers, whether it be janitors, whether it be nurses, that's what's going on with us as a people. So you mean to tell me that you have a heart, but within the heart that you have, you decide within your own self that, you know what?
His heart belongs to middle management and above.
That's it. That's it. And they got thousands and thousands of dollars.
In September. You come the Sunday before payday when you know, like Mr. Ferguson said, he was being inundated with the calls. You know people are now asking, are we getting our monies? Are we getting our monies? You at no point in time acknowledge that, you know what, guys, I did promise that I intended to do this in September. However, due to financial constraints or whatever, he comes out in his press statement last night and says, oh, money ain't the issue. The issue is I just ain't doing it till December. Come on,
we didn't get it.
If you could do it now, and you don't have to wait till December to do it, then do it. Stop being, a spoiled brat about it and do it.
A husband and a wife in the public service, both are public servants, were expecting their couple dollars with the hope that we could use this to get us some second advice on medical services that they need.
Oh, wow.
When that announcement was made and it said, we ain't getting them couple dollars, husband and wife, they then had to turn the family members who also work in the public service to still find a way to get out of this country to go and get medical advice. medical services. that's the case that in many cases, there are all manner of issues that people encounter that are just being glossed over. And I always say it, they use the employee evaluation forms and process to grade public servants, but if servants go to on a daily basis in the public service to serve the humans, yes, they could do a better job. But at the same time, I don't think they're getting adequately paid for the job that they're doing currently.
Good stuff, caller. We got
Thank you
several
so
other
much,
calls, but
caller.
great points as always, man. And always look forward to you chiming in. Let's get to the other calls. Talking heads. Talking heads. Talking heads.
Hey, Noddy. Hey, MJ.
Hey,
and
good afternoon,
to
Jeff.
Mrs. Wilson and Kingsley Ferguson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I can say this much, Noddy. I would have thought that this matter would have been something, and I'm going to be very facetious here, a mere motley move. What we are getting here is not even true governance in its sense. And I'm no stranger, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind, because guess what? Been blacklisted, and still blacklisted for many years in this country. But I call truth as I see it. First and foremost, as I said on the previous show with Chicago Line, the Prime Minister stated that it's not the matter that the money is not there. He has the money. It's not the matter that the protocols have not been followed and the checks and balances have been done. Everything is in place. So why do you have to wait for December to pay monies that can
Excellent
be paid out today?
question.
That doesn't make any sense. And as a serious Bahamian who know about the struggles in this country that families today are going through, why hold back on monies that you have that you say has already been allocated? Why aren't you releasing these monies today that you say could be released today, but you prefer to wait for December? That does not make any sense to me.
Good stuff, Jeff. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it, man.
much.
We got loaded lines.
A lot of
Talking
callers.
heads. Let's get to the next calls. Talking heads.
Hey, Noddy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Listen, I want to commend Mrs. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson for the wonderful work they're doing for their unions.
Thank
and
you.
their members.
Thank you, sir.
I think they are justified in the fight that they are putting up with this issue. Yeah, and I say for a few reasons. One, yes, the government may have initiated this process, but regardless of that, the process was initiated, and they chose to take care of the upper level individuals.
It's
Their drinking
shocking.
buddies,
That's
their
shocking.
pals, the big timers, the big shows.
The homies and
They paid them
cronies.
Thousands. All right? They paid them thousands, and they ignored the small man. They ignored the people that carry the public service. They chose to do that because they are saying that it's not a cash flow issue. Now, had they come out and say, listen, the money you're saying there, we
Right.
need a month or two to catch
Right.
ourselves, da-da-da, give Mrs. Wilson, give Mr. Ferguson.
Real explanation.
Something tangible.
Yeah, something they could say to their members.
Give them something to carry, right?
Yeah.
But they tell them, no, we ain't doing it. The money there, but we just choose we ain't doing it.
It's
and
weird.
I find that to be extremely disrespectful. One last point, extremely disrespectful because one, they said they have disrespected unions a number of times since they've been in office, and I think the most egregious one before this one takes the cake. But before this, it was the fact that they chose to launch their political campaign on Labor Day. They have no regard. They have no regard for unions. They only want to use them when it justifies them. So I want to encourage Mrs. Wilson. I want to encourage Mr. Ferguson to keep fighting the good fight. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
All
you.
right, caller,
Caller.
appreciate you. Let's get to the other call. Talking heads. Talking heads. All right, let's get to the other one. Talking heads.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, what's going on?
Well, I've listened to the speech last night, and I listened to what Ms. Wilson says happened in the meeting. Somebody has to come out and say it. Somebody is lying. And I'm sure it's not Ms. Wilson. Okay?
Well, we don't use the word lie on Talking Heads. We use misspoke.
Misspoke. Okay. Now, what I see on the face of it may not be in control of this government. Okay? It's in the hands of the financial secretary and the elite in the public service who seems hell-bent on getting what they want at the expense of the people who are doing all the work. That is just the way it is. It seems, you know, it's like we on a plantation, you know, and the fellas in the big house, they're looking out for themselves. But I think the rope that has been extended by the public treasury, that rope is only so long. Okay? You know, we are a nation, we borrow money to pay salaries in this country. You know, I think, you know, Simon Wilson and Mr. Alcides, they need to come up and make some kind of statement, you know, because I'm not too sure the Prime Minister is up to the task of doing what he needs to do.
Thank you very much, caller.
And we got one more.
Very interesting point that he made there.
Last caller, Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Hello, good day, Naughty.
Hey, what's happening?
How y'all doing?
I'm good.
Thanks.
Good day to Mr. Kingsley Ferguson.
Good day,
good day. My college alma mater, Belinda Wilson.
You've been to school with everybody, buddy? God, if it wasn't kindergarten, it was primary school, then it was high school.
We have to get him in here one day because he has attended school with everybody.
Man, we want to do a show with you, and you just coming in. Listen, everybody you've been to school with and what days you've been to school.
Stories,
all right?
Yeah.
Naughty.
Yes, sir.
We come from real time and we've been to real school. But
well, I hope since we part of the talking class, you called me a schoolmate too, you know.
Yeah, but you ain't check Marvin Footer to get back to me at the time when I'm done.
Anyway, what you know about Marvin Footer? But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, look here. Like Miss Wilson said, the man run, right? And you always call him, I call him Funky Davis. You all know Funky means cowardly or scary. That's what that word stands for. But he shouldn't be promising people things when they ain't got no money, right? I mean, ain't that they ain't got no money. They misappropriating the funds. The 10,000, the 7,000, and all those other figures that they can't account for. We need them because, I got two beautiful daughters, and their mommy been a nurse all her life. You see what I'm saying? Some people need their money. So that's public service too, right?
Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much, caller. Good point. And we don't know that they're misappropriating the money, but for sure, this situation handled. And I'm wondering, Ms. Wilson, are you having the conversation with the right people? Because if the Prime Minister can't answer these questions for you, who can answer these questions for you?
Well, don't forget now, the Prime Minister is also the Minister of Finance.
Exactly.
And so we've met with him. We met with Michael Alcides.
Okay.
And he was in the meeting with the Prime Minister on September the 3rd, a subsequent meeting on the 9th. The Financial Secretary, Simon Wilson, was in the meeting along with the Permanent Secretary of Finance. So I'm saying, who do you go to if you're meeting with the Minister of Finance, the Minister of State for Economic Affairs, and the Financial Secretary?
Right.
Those are the three top persons who are able
to
say, yes,
right.
We have the funds, and the funds can be paid at such and such a time.
Well, we got to get to the break, so
okay, let's do the break. And then I'm going to find out from Ms. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson whether they know when your members are paid. Will they be paid retroactive to 2024, or what exactly are they getting? We'll find out that.
And we got several texts and that obviously, that we need you all to speak to, but we appreciate your patience listening to all the callers. And obviously, some of them are obviously union members because they appreciate the stance that you took today. But at the end of the day, like MJ said, how are we going to get this solved? At the end of the day, the people need their money. That's got to get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll be back right here on the Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
I see a smile cause I'm high, I know it's so I'm doing all my shows just like he in the crowd. Hey, throw your lighters up for my cousin too. Rest in peace, left eye, jam, who I mean?
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's. Well worth the trip.
Refined style with elegant taste. Then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want to look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, want to step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
This October, let's come together for hope, support, and strength.
It's the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group Dollar Day, happening Friday, October 17th from 7 right here on the grounds of the Nassau Guardian, Carter Street, Oakesville.
And the best part? With just $1, you can help make a difference in the fight against breast cancer. Every dollar counts towards awareness, education, and support for women battling this disease.
Come on out, drop $1 and stand with us for a cause that touches so many lives.
Join us on Friday, October 17th from 7 to 10 a.m. and let's turn every dollar into hope.
That's the Sister Breast Cancer Dollar Day, proudly sponsored by the Guardian Media Group, Star 106.5, and the Guardian Radio 96.9.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Feeding the crew? Fueling the cravings? There's something for everyone with the new KFC Fill-Up Box. Serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets. All packed into one crave-worthy box. Not a crumb's gonna survive when the KFC box hits the table. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC. It's finger.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Man, wild as the Taliban, 9 in my right, 45 in my other hand. Hey, who I mean? Call me trouble man, always in trouble man.
We're back at ya on the Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads. And yeah, some of you out saying, make that song sound familiar. That is the AI slap version of T.I.'s Rubber Band Man.
That's crazy.
And that's what it would sound like if T.I. dropped that in 1950. And I heard that and I was like, I got like this. That's right up there with the original. I must be getting older because I'm enjoying this one.
You do love the Temptations. That's like
yes,
one of your favorite
I do.
groups ever.
All right, but we're back and obviously we have to address several questions, several topics. MJ, the first one that we have to address.
This is the one that
by the text, and obviously
right.
that's pertinent right now is.
I'm really curious about this because we've been hearing, okay, you'll get it before Christmas, but what dates are being included in this retroactive pay? Is it from September 2024? What should the members expect when they get this money before Christmas?
Well,
how much?
We can only expect something if we understand what the definitive is in relation to the percentage that people would receive.
Okay.
Nobody knows that yet.
You still don't know?
No, we don't. And so we can't tell them we'll expect $10 because you're getting $2 additionally per month. And so there's no clarity on the issue. But what we've been agitating for is the retroactive payment like everybody got from 2024 to current date. And so, again, the comments that were made by the government's press release, it says this exercise covers all classes of officers directly employed by the public service on a non-contractual basis. It says its purpose is to close the wage gap.
Right.
We got a $30,700 gap between the permanent secretary and the undersecretary, which is their deputy. Ooh. So that's not a gap, that's a gulf.
That is.
And so,
quite
again, how do we get way down to the small man whose incremental value is $37.50? And we don't want to give that individual $1,000 in retroactive payment and add it to the base of his salary that would bring his salary to a certain amount where persons can maintain a certain quality of life.
This is interesting because you're expecting these well, before Christmas. That's what Bahamians are being told. You don't know how much it is, if it's really small, because people have been expecting this money for a while.
Tag with a fuse lit, because I'll tell you why.
Right.
If December roll around and they
it's
can't
couple
explain
dollars.
how much to who and why on what level, it could be another FUBAR situation.
Could I say this? Mrs. Wilson mentioned it the other day. The Prime Minister said he gave the public money out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, that's the public money which you gave. That ain't your personal money.
That's inaccurate. He said he had a salary review.
Comprehensive.
We discovered that it wasn't as comprehensive as he said. And we believe that he was trying to cover his tracks when he said what he said about the lower end receiving between 2 and 8%.
Let me ask you this question. The persons who put together that obviously lacking flawed report, are they at middle management level and above? Did they get straight? Did they get paid?
They would be senior, I would
Well,
think.
Deloitte & Touche did the audit, the report, and again, the salary review. But we were supposed to have gotten a summary.
Nobody asking.
If those folks who created that from the office.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Deloitte & Touche did the report.
Did the report.
And the senior financial people
information.
got their pockets
That's
greased.
That's what I was asking right there. For not doing their job.
Again, they got greased. We now have permanent secretary's salary. I guess the
and
base,
the front line workers still waiting to get something.
The base of it is like 104.
$104,750.
And then we have also allowances.
$20,000 allowance. $12,000.
And these are per annum.
Housing allowance, and you live in your own home.
We're paying
you're
housing
getting
allowances?
medical insurance until you die. You got your accrued vacation. You are receiving, you came back on a contract, so you're receiving your
That's the next
pension.
question. What about the retirees that have been brought back?
You're
into
receiving
to
your
burden it?
pension and your salary. Then you're going to get 15% gratuity on the end of the contract. I ain't finished yet, and you're driving our car. You got gas in the car.
For government after all these years.
You get a cell phone. You have a laptop, but you want the small man. Oh, you wait.
Right.
You wait. You wait 5 months. And now you wait 8 months.
Because it don't affect them, and it don't affect their bottom
your
line.
pocket has been greased, and you've fixed your salary and your emoluments for you.
That is really obscene.
This is was ever the intention to include your members?
No.
I think that's what we were getting down to. It feels like there was never the intention to include you in the
This
exercise.
statement will clarify that it says, for example, this increase will narrow the gap between non-contractual employees and those who already received increases as a result of trade union negotiations. And so it was not inclusive of our people because they spoke to what they would have received as a result of negotiations.
Yeah.
I would like to also remind some people that when they did the minimum wage, we received an increase at that point of 2 increments for certain individuals. But the persons who were brought up to minimum wage did not get the increase at all. Now, the government made the decision to increase minimum wage. So if you're increasing minimum wage, which was a part of your agenda, and there was supposed to be an increase of 2 increments, well, why I can't get the minimum wage increase plus the 2 increments, which is supposed to be my salary increase?
I'm wondering at this point, how does the government, the Prime Minister, who's the Minister of Finance, all of the people in the Ministry of Finance, including the Financial Secretary, Ms. Halkitis, who's also a minister, how do they fix this now? What is the solution to this?
Easy. First of all, I think they owe, forget about me, my shoulders broad. They owe the public servants an apology. They also need to state that we have not completed the internal calculations and work in order for us to be able to pay you.
be upfront and honest about that and just,
And they walked away from the table, the government. They need to come back to the table. This ain't no cry, baby, sour lime. Or someone tell me I weak
Hold on.
and you break off running, I meet with you no
I got some
more.
texts that say actually that Naughty tell Miss Wilson that she actually should apologize to Mr. Davis, because obviously she went there and called him weak. And when she called him weak, that set up hell in him. Now as Anonymous say, please tell Miss Wilson to go ahead and just apologize to Brave. He's well within his feet.
But okay, I'm calling him weak and qualifying it.
Right.
Because I didn't just stand outside a window and point in and say, you weak. I sat in a meeting with you on March the 4th, 2025, where you gave several instructions.
That's right.
Today is October the 15th. Not one of those instructions have been carried out yet. I sat in a meeting with you on September the 3rd, where you gave further instructions. None have been carried out yet. We get one thing, the salary review.
And that's incomplete, obviously.
Which showed that we met again. So what I'm saying is the weakness is that you are the boss. And you are giving your subordinates instructions, and you talking about disrespect from the union. They disrespect. You gonna fire us as the union, but you can fire them. So you telling me we met with you 5 months ago, and I'm telling you 5 months later, sir, you told them to give me 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. What did you get? Nothing, sir. And everybody's just sitting down grinning around your table. Ain't no heads rolling.
Right.
So that's where the weakness is. Leaders lead.
You call out and Poker doubling down right there. And texted, not only did she call him weak, she gave him a reason for being weak.
I wonder about the Prime Minister's statement last night about him not coming back to the table, not negotiating with you as union leaders. I find that to be quite curious. I think we have a system in this country where he has that obligation to sit down and have the conversation with you to try to resolve this. One of the things he said last night is that he would speak to the people directly. Today, many of your members gathered in Rawson Square, and I think we've all seen the video by now where the Prime Minister practically had on running shoes and avoided talking to them.
He ran the 104 flat.
It was quite the sight to see him avoid you.
But you know, the amazing thing is, the Prime Minister, we tired here about the 59 industrial agreements you sign and people can't get the things within the industrial agreement. But let me say this. Someone spoke to the fact that it appears as if there's some challenge with recollecting things. I was in a meeting with the Prime Minister and the Financial Secretary. The Prime Minister instructed the Financial Secretary to give the finance and accounting officers a salary upgrade.
Okay.
He told them, he said, Simon, you hear me? Good.
Okay.
He made a note. When we got downstairs, the ladies that were with me in the meeting, Mr. Wilson snatched the paper. That man need anger management.
What?
He snatched the paper at the woman's hand and said, go from around here.
Man, are you talking about Wilson nigga waiting in this parking lot?
That's all right. Let him come. Let him come. The two of us from Ross Corner.
Well, hold on.
She used to live over there. I used to live over there.
You got to get in line behind Yuri in the newsroom.
Yeah, we ain't never scared.
So, but listen, let me
So
finish.
He snatched the paper.
He snatched the paper out of her hand and made remarks towards her. But instead of him doing what the Prime Minister said, he went ahead and did what he wanted to do, which was a scale upgrade, reducing the amount of monies that they receive. So I mentioned it to the Prime Minister Monday.
Right.
He said, hey, member. And I tell him, Mr. Prime Minister, I was there.
And also they would have minutes.
And he had a meeting, was brought up to him in the meeting again, and he seemed to be having a problem recollecting. A draw illustration, Miss Wilson had to pull out the Hansard and remind him of what he said. And so again, somebody need to be taking minutes for him, and then he need to go home and read them so he could remember what he said. But I'm saying to you, instructions are being given. That's the point that I want to make.
Yes.
And nobody is listening to the Prime Minister. Fire them.
That is very, very serious piece of news to hear
Well,
that
yeah.
the Prime Minister gives instructions and they seem not to be, adhered to.
All right, texters, we'll get to all of your texts on the flip side of the break. Callers, you can either hang tight or hit us right back after the news, but we will be going over into the 5 o'clock hour. I appreciate our special guest, Bahamas Union of Teachers, Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress President Belinda Wilson, and of course, Bahamas Public Service Union President Kingsley Ferguson, both being with us. We will go over into the 5 o'clock hour. We'll answer more questions. We'll hear more of what's going on, because at the end of the day, these workers need to be paid, and they need to be paid now. We'll get to that all on the flip side of the break. Keep it right where you got it. The Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ continues right after this.
Taliban, 9 in my right, 45 in my other hand. Call me trouble man, always in trouble man. Worth a couple $100 grand. Chevy's all color, rubber band man.
Valia, we a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see when we're pulling up. Anything for the taste what we love. Barbecue, spicy and original, flavorful, crispy, irresistible. 3 piece with the fries and a Pepsi. Go get your one big deal, stop stress me. All when we dip on the toilet, no left foot. It's a big deal. Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC, big deal. 3 pieces of delicious chicken, fries and Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles, with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, there's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
We got some jokey leaders in a jokey town. A tree-ring circus, what a bunch of clowns.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads. Continuing our conversation with our special guest, Bahamas Union of Teachers, Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress President Belinda Wilson, and of course, Bahamas Public Service Union President Kingsley Ferguson. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. Let's get these 2 callers out of the way. Then I got some text for you. And then we'll continue the conversation. In Texas, be patient. I see all 1.5 million of y'all. I can get to you all in 1 second. Talking Heads.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello to Mrs. Wilson and Mr. Kingsley.
Good afternoon.
I wish anyone in the upper echelon who are making the $100,000 and all of that, or justify why they should be paid and the average workers should not be paid. And also, this being practically an election year, persons are saying, I'm going to have my ears to the ground, that the minimum the government does is at least pave the road towards election. But rather than that, we are having tons and thousands of potholes and damaging our tires practically by the week or by the days. So I think there's a lot to go. What if I wonder what would have happened hadn't the Prime Minister got offended by Mrs. Wilson? If anything new or different would have happened.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carl. I think you answered that already, Ms. Wilson, that there was no cussing and carrying on as the Prime Minister seemed to intimate last night in his address.
I don't see why the PM is trying to all of a sudden now play the victim role, all right?
We spoke very clearly to the Prime Minister and strongly on behalf of our members. Ain't nobody cuss and carrying on. They always cussing and carrying on in the House of Assembly.
No, but
so what are you talking about?
I could be honest with you. Let me just say this. See, I don't think the PM is used to dealing like some of us who have married strong, beautiful, intelligent Bahamian women. All to say your things. If I come back home and you say, hey, I told you bring this from the store. Yeah, I don't care. You was trying to be an economist now and save us some. I need this ingredient because it make the thing better. I can hear about it. I got to take it. See, the PM married a Trinidadian lady. She ain't get kicked up too much. She just could break into Carnival and that's that. So he ain't used. I don't think he used to getting a good, old-fashioned Bahamian, let me tell you about your behind in a nice way, but let me get you focused and let me get you back on track kind of way. And we need to look at that.
I want to ask Ms. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson this question, though, because the Prime Minister also said that he would not sit at the negotiation table with the threat of a strike. And so he tried to characterize that you guys threatened him. Around the same time he gave his address last night, though, we did get some reporting. I think Eyewitness News reported that there was some kind of intimation that public servants who joined and it was a protest today, right? It wasn't a strike.
Yes.
Public servants who joined the protest today could face salary deductions and disciplinary measures. What do you guys make of that? And what did you think when you heard that news that they were possibly, and this is my word, threatening to deduct salaries from your members who are trying to get their money
What you just
now?
said is loaded. The Prime Minister said that he doesn't want to, he didn't need to go to any middleman. I'm a woman. I'm not a middle woman or middleman.
Right.
I am the president of a union. I have members who are asking me questions, and the questions need to be answered by the Minister of Finance.
The duly elected leader.
And they sent me
right
to meet with him. So that's clear. The next thing, what he fails to realize, he talked about disrespect or breach, so he is now in breach of the tripartite ILO convention, which speaks to the government, the employer, the union coming together. He is also in breach of freedom of association in our industrial relations. You have freedom of association in our Constitution. You have freedom of association. We did not strike. And that's what, if we really have a strike, don't forget the teachers had a strike in 1981 that lasted for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I recall.
So for you to come
That was sweet too, but
and walk the Bay Street and say, we want our money for an hour or two.
Right.
And go back. That's not a strike.
Right.
All right. We
No, I
had
agree.
we had
It's
a
not a strike.
peaceful
All right.
protest.
But I got a question for you. Naughty, can you please ask your guests what has been the impact in schools with this industrial action and with public service? Is any work getting done? And I understand the stance you guys had to take, but I do have, when I see kids in the schoolyard waiting to get picked up because they can't go to school, I mean, that I understand you have to do what you have to do in order to get this administration to address it
I want to address
properly.
that. I'm the teacher. When your mommy beat you, sometimes it hurt her more than it hurt you.
I used to get that all the time. It hurts mommy more than to do this to you than it hurts you. And I was like, no, it don't. My behind on fire.
It hurts us.
Right.
To leave the little darlings who we love.
Right.
But there comes a time when you have to make a stand, and the sad part about it is our stand then impacts them.
Yes.
And I saw something today too, and I think she's part of your union, Mr. Ferguson.
Yeah, I think that video clip that you're
Oh,
about
my
to
goodness.
describe
The lady that
is
was
gonna be-
crying.
is gonna be viral.
But let me say this.
Gonna be.
I want to
That is
add to that,
viral.
and then I want to speak to that.
Not only did she show what she was making, her pay stubs, and
how difficult
admittedly
it is.
say thank
Exactly.
God for you, because there's times you've stepped in. That woman needs help.
Listen,
She needs her money.
Not only does it impact, but I think in retrospect, when the prime minister was at the table, he should have given consideration to all of that. The fact that if we don't have dialogue, if we don't negotiate, it's going to have an impact on some people. The people that he governed, the children that that they get the proper education that they need uninterrupted. And so he should have given consideration to that part of it.
You're absolutely right. And just so we're really clear on this point, and I agree with you 100%. I think what, we have to take into consideration is if the prime minister takes the stance that he will not negotiate with the duly elected leaders of these unions and that he wants to speak to the public, the members directly, then they have to take time off school and go down to Rawson Square or their jobs and go down there in order for him to do what he says he wants to do. So in my opinion, the smarter thing to do is the legal thing to do, which is negotiate with you.
MJ said he doesn't need a middleman.
Right.
They're his employees and he can speak to them.
Right.
But today I brought them, the middleman.
And he can speak to them.
Brought them. And I said to him,
Rawson
so
Square.
you say you don't want to speak to me?
Right.
I brought the people for you to speak to. Instead, he ran to his vehicle.
You were trying.
What are you running for? You have a few teachers, several hundred people out there saying we want to pay. What you running for?
And the last time he did address them briefly.
Well, we
right?
had to go and that's another thing.
Right.
When they told who he brave and he come and face the people, myself and Mr. Kimsey Ferguson, we went inside the House of Assembly. And we said to his driver, who then called the junior clerk, and we said, let the prime minister know that we're not in here to hear no session. We are in here to speak to him and for him to come down to speak to the crowd.
What did your members make of that today? The fact that the prime minister has now refused to even address them, and so many were gathered there today waiting to hear from him.
Well, actually, when they saw his car speeding off, they ran that way, and actually a few of them was almost hit by the prime minister's
that reporting online.
vehicle. So I don't know because really there was no hostility out there. I mean, they were chanting, but there was no hostility.
I just don't think the prime minister is doing the math on this. You alluded earlier about 17,000 public service workers need to be compensated. That is not a good look in an election season. When you try to make an election run, you got to do the math on that. That 17,000 is going to affect more than 17,000 them not getting paid.
Many Bahamian
It's going to have a lot of people disgruntled in a lot of households. And if you look at this is the kind of situation that could cost you your whole administration.
But you asked about frustration. I know you're going to go to the callers. You asked about frustration. We have to be frustrated. Because if you spoke about this from May around the 28th, this is October. And I can show you so many WhatsApp messages, emails, letters, meetings. We've been asking for the same thing over and over and over.
This appears clearly to me they've been dollar whining around this whole situation the whole time. This good old fashioned they dollar whining. Let me go to the phone lines real quick. Texas, I got you on next. Talking Heads.
We don't hate you. There's naughty by nature.
What's going on, GNN? What's going on, Nana Boy?
Hi, Mary J.
Hi, good afternoon.
And hi to the other chap in there, the other union president, but save the best for last. My darling, my sweetie, Belinda Johnson.
How many people you been to school with?
Miss Johnson. Which house you was in? Markham, right?
I was in Llewellyn. I was the captain for
Llewellyn. You was in Llewellyn, but all of Patrice and them girls couldn't really run.
Yeah, we could have run, but the prime minister outrun me today.
He outrun you. He outride you. You tell him keep riding, and when he come back, somebody else could be in our office. Because I ain't called to run on with all that, but then the Canada herself, she ain't no low fat. I know this young lady from we was up on the Hill Market Street. You hear me? And she was always a beautiful, focused, athletic young lady. So if he will run, tell him keep running. When he, Belinda's running 800. So he can't run that.
Long distance.
But I called to I love Belinda. Whichever way she tells you and then go, I go naughty. You understand me?
I hear you.
Wherever she tells me go. And I just hope she would run
for prime minister of this country, because that is what we need. She's almost there. That's the kind of man we need.
So sorry. Hey, despite what they put out on social media last night, I'm not running.
You don't have any political ambitions right now.
I'm not running.
Okay.
I've had some offers, but I'm not accepting.
I just called to big up my classmate, my schoolmate, my trackmate, Belinda Johnson Wilson from GNN. Thanks for taking my
Go ahead, Nana boy. Be safe.
GNN.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Yes, how you doing, Naughty? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on,
Good
Seattle?
afternoon.
Make it as tight as possible for me, Seattle, and I appreciate your contribution, but this phone line blowing up, text lines blowing up.
No, because Belinda, I was calling concerning the international rules, and Belinda addressed that in what the Prime Minister was in violation with. But I just want to make a point, right? And you mentioned the 17,000 workers. The Prime Minister released a report that addressed 13,000, I think, and 84 individuals out of the 17,000. But that doesn't include a lot of people, like the 52-week, the temporary workers, the casual workers, and whatever other type of workers definition they may have. And so my question would be, if this is what he released to the public, the question would be if the Prime Minister did not randomly, from among thousands of people, decide what each one would have gotten, that means that the Prime Minister has another report that he has not released to the public. Because don't do some calculations. There has to be a study for all of these different positions that is not being revealed to the public as to how he made the determination from the goodness of his heart. But if you look at it in the proper context, this is union busting. When you look at the inflation gap and the market gap of what would happen even for the most minimal person making $260 a week, you're talking about $800. And so you times the multiple of that. And so the problem that for me I see is that the Prime Minister knows that if he was to reveal an actual evaluation across the entire public service, including those people without definitions, he does not have the money. Just let me end saying this, though. If these deficiencies exist in the public service, and then you extrapolate this across 200,000 people, you could see a huge deficiency in this market with a failure of growth in the last 24 years, while at the same time, the inflation and the GDP and other things has grown. That means the wages across the country is not match what it's supposed to be. And so the bigger conversation is going to be is how do we maintain these salary increases that these people will be entitled to every single year going forward without any type of major growth in the economy to sustain it, consider the civil service are paid from taxes. Thank you so much.
Good point, C. Allen. Appreciate it as always, man. Let's go on and get to the text lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty. Something I wanted to point out, Naughty. Forget Miss Belinda, like she said. Forget Mr. Ferguson. Last night, the Prime Minister asked for whether it was public servants or Bahamians to stand with him. I saw a mother and her daughter did it. Mother's a retired teacher, said she come to stand on behalf of her daughter because the pension she getting as a retired teacher ain't nothing. So she come to take a stand with her daughter. The point that I want to make is forget Belinda and forget Kimsley. The people that were downtown today were the very same people that the Prime Minister asked to stand with him. And they stood there. And he did not come and stand with them. Forget Belinda, forget Kimsley. The same way he stiff-armed Belinda out of asking him whatever she was asking him, he could have stiff-armed Belinda and went to the barricades, if only, and talked to the people so that it don't even look like he's running. So his whole optics of today is just off. But I want him to be minded that the very same people that he asked to stand with him that stood up today, he's going to want to go back to their doors in a few weeks' time. Enjoy your day now.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you so
point.
much.
All right,
caller.
Let's get to these texts. Hey, Naughty and MJ and Miss Wilson and Mr. Ferguson, the judge. And he claims to be a student of the Westminster. Yeah, but that's a good little poem right there.
Good rhyme.
The PM's biggest issue is the people who work with him, they do not like the people that they supervise. They feel good when we don't get our money, our promotions, or stability through permanent status. Tell the PM to deal with his wicked bosses. Good afternoon. You saw that one already. Good evening, Naughty and MJ, and to your guests, Belinda and Kingsley. Either they don't respect the PM or he's compromised to the core. Be encouraged, Madam President and Mr. Ferguson. And I get it. Either they don't, you say the things that he don't like to hear. Now you don't respect him, but you talking on behalf of your people who need to get paid.
Yeah, I think they're referring to the senior persons in Ministry of Finance who were given directives by the Prime Minister and appear not to have followed those directives.
Good day, Naughty and MJ. Need to have your intro and outro Tupac. They don't give a F about us because that's what the PM is showing us, Bahamian people across the board. Oh, and they still haven't paid the NHIA providers for September yet, 100% outstanding, and we're now into October. Naughty and MJ, if you pull the public servants off their job, do they still get paid for missing work? Could you please ask Ms. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson that?
Okay, there's something called a call-in day.
Okay.
So you can call in to say, I will not be in today.
Good old-fashioned sick day, whatever day it is.
I won't be in today.
Okay.
It's a paid day. What about the days when we work extra, when we work overtime?
Naughty, good afternoon to you and MJ and your guests. I believe we have a misfit as the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. I believe the union leaders should march at the Ministry of Finance and that Simon Wilson, the Financial Secretary, note that the people need their money. Mr. Davis is a poor excuse for a Prime Minister and a Minister of Finance. We should not be in this predicament. Naughty and MJ, good afternoon. How could you go into the Haitian village and speak clearly that you is one of them, but cannot be clear and transparent with the unions who are comprised of Bahamians? If Bahamians can't see what's going on, and if the PM is not up to the task, he needs to put on his big boy's shoes, his big boy's depends, and resign. Keep the fire burning, Mr. Ferguson and Ms. Wilson.
Mischievous.
Oh, Lord.
Mischievous.
The man have to call an election too. He may have to ring the bell to get a big loan ASAP. Well, what's your take on that? And we've
heard your members chanting about ringing the bell. What's your position?
If you look at Golden Hours, the situation there, you guys are the unions for a by-election, or are they for a general election?
Ring the bell.
People are expressing what they're feeling on the inside as a result of treatment that they're experiencing. And they're expressing that behavior that you're going to give to us in the wake of an upcoming by-election and a general election. Then let's do it quickly so we can show you exactly how we feel about you. Now, again, we have policy and laws that speaks to what should happen if there is a particular vacancy in a constituency. Some people are weighing that against whether or not we should do a by-election or just go straight to a general election. Mm-hmm. I'll answer your question this way. I believe that there may be some people who really don't want to know the results of a by-election because it may be sending a message as to what is coming.
I agree. I think that's a smart take.
What I look at, though, I think the Governor General sent to the Speaker of the House sent to the Governor General, was it yesterday?
Yes, I think it was yesterday.
Okay, so then that gives the Governor General, she gave it to the Governor General within 21 days.
Right.
The Governor General must then get that writ back within the 30-day period, and then the election must be held within 60 days. So that takes us somewhere between January or February. And my thought is, why would you have a by-election January or February, and then maybe 4 or 5, because you must have the general election by October of next year. So to me, the funds, the money spent, and people say, oh, the party may be spending money, but we can't decipher where is the party or where is the same salary increase money would be waiting for. So we don't know where the money is coming from because we do not have campaign finance reform. So I believe that based on the timeline and the funds that would be spent, that it may be better to go to
straight to the general election.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ, and to your guest. Naughty, check this out, man. Suppose the country is broke. We must be careful with that information. You must admit, if we are broke, it's a very embarrassing to any leader. So this can happen if the government negotiates in the press. It's a mistake. I think the PM has to call an election too. He may have to ring the bell to get a big loan to cover everything.
We are expecting a $75 million surplus, so I mean,
here's another one.
Put that where you
Just
You
remember
will.
Perry Christie
That
showed the people
information.
his middle finger. Minutes had the people logged down and towing long lines in alphabetical order. Now Brave lying his pants off, ducking pertinent questions from people and running away from them. Just know when you disrespect the people that it is not a good path for political leadership to be in. One question: what has happened to those other political leaders?
I wanna find out from Mr. Ferguson, Ms. Wilson, if you know. We understand the only B4. I mean, that's the way I see it. I feel like they never intended.
It is what it is.
To
That's what it
include
is.
your members. Do you know if those persons were paid retroactive to when? Do you know how far back they got?
Some from 2023.
What?
To current current date. The permanent secretaries receive an increase in their responsibility allowance. They received a $24,000 increase to the base of their salary. They received a $12,000 housing allowance and the rest of the perks. Their allowances amount to a public servant's salary.
My God.
Or more. And so I am advised reliably that now these individuals are trying to get the government to now calculate their pensions inclusive of the salary and the allowance.
Really? Wow.
And meanwhile,
that's quite the position.
The line staff who deal with the day-to-day running of this country and making sure things are done have not been paid from 2024. Can't get their retroactive pay.
And has to walk
Can't
the
even
street.
get a day when they're going to get paid and a figure up to what they're owed, broken down properly so they know when they get it, it makes sense and they know when they can see it and feel it and it becomes tangible. But basically, higher pay grade in the
Have
office.
greased their pockets.
And they greased.
Ain't no other way to put it. And I said that in the meeting with the Prime Minister. They have greased their pockets, and they did not look at the small man.
Now that this has come out, though, what's really galling to me is there's no sense of urgency to rectify the situation and get everybody taken care of as needs be. They should be burdened to midnight oil, Hal Ketis and Simon Wilson included.
And all other people who got
Hal Ketis and Simon Wilson.
No, you understand what I said.
Hal Ketis and Simon Wilson out of the country.
Right, they traveled in for Breivik because Breivik did the majority.
This is a lot.
Let's get these calls in. Talking heads. Talking heads.
Hello.
Hello.
Noddy.
Yes, sir.
Top of the afternoon, afternoon to your guests.
Thank you.
To your guests, my question to them, can you give us the country a figure of how much money is owed to the teachers and whoever else?
Are you talking about from the salary review?
Yes, ma'am.
We can't tell you that because the salary review that the Prime Minister put in my hands on Monday does not include teachers, nurses, police, clerks, janitress, security officers, etc. They're not included. So we only can go by what the Prime Minister's Assembly that civil servants, public servants would get between 2% and 8% raise based on a salary review that we have not seen. So we can't tell you. That's the crux of the matter. Our members are asking us. What you are asking us, but we can't tell you because we have nothing in our hands from the Minister of Finance.
Sir, could I say something to you, please? Initially, we had the Minister of the Public Service that came out and said that we were aware. Listen to me, nothing can be further from the truth because we never knew. And now
we never knew anything and let them know. The only document we've received from the Prime Minister said there was going to be a raise to today is this same salary review that we got. The Prime Minister rests in my hand on Monday in the meeting, which covers middle management. It does not cover the public service, the regular workers.
Hope that answers your question,
Good
caller.
question,
Thank you so
caller.
much
Appreciate
for
you.
the
Let's get this
question.
other call in. Talking heads. Talking heads. All right, you got to hit us back. Let me. But there again.
Sorry, I think it has kind of categorized this whole exercise as something that he's doing from the goodness of his heart. He's now kind of made it into some sort of a handout, whereas before he was explaining it to be trying to make the system fairer. What do you guys think about the way that they're painting a narrative like you're getting something? It's almost to the point it feels like they're saying, well, you're getting something you didn't deserve. I'm just giving it to you out of the goodness of my heart. Do you think that's unfair?
He got to make up his mind what is the motivation and intent behind what he's doing. One point he said, well, we're giving it to you so you could catch up with what was done when they took all that national insurance money from the people to bring you back to where you was.
Right.
Now he's saying, out of the goodness of his heart, to narrow the gap. Well, we wouldn't know how narrow the gap could be because the people.
Right.
And so, again, we would be able to say, well, if you narrow the gap and you're giving them this amount, well, it'll only take another increase to get them to where they need to be. And so we need some specifics.
What do you think is a reasonable expectation of what you guys should receive? I guess it's going to be December because the Prime Minister doesn't seem to be moving off that December. What is a reasonable expectation of what your members could receive in December?
I don't think we should say that because, okay, if you did a salary review,
right?
Deloitte and Touche did it.
Right.
They're the experts.
Right.
And you paid them hundreds of thousands of our
senior
dollars to tell us what the gaps are.
Right.
So that's why we are saying,
show you the report.
If the Prime Minister is saying between 2 and 8%,
right?
Deloitte and Touche has given you the expert analysis.
Right.
Then you take that expert analysis along with whatever the percentages are, and they should have been presenting to us.
Should be telling you this information.
And when I asked on Monday, what is the total amount? So let's say, for example, the total amount was 150 million.
Okay.
And the PM said to us Monday, listen, we have not gone through each person.
But we know
it's
roughly
150 million.
Then you can know what to expect.
And I want to say to y'all, as we looked at our numbers prior to y'all coming in here,
right,
30 million. So we may have to tweak this here and tweak this here.
Right.
We are educated.
Yes.
Reasonable, sensible leaders. But we can't be running behind you for 5 months.
Literally
right into you. I'm going to your office, WhatsApping you, messaging your director of communication, sitting in meetings with you over and over.
Let me just add that your director of communication, listen, talking about aging bad, Latrey Rammond, Office of the Prime Minister, Director of Communication, better known as Latrey here on Talking Heads. This did not work for you on social media, bro. Sometimes you need to stay off social media. At least October 8th, at least the man I work for is brave enough to walk among and speak with the people. The others are hiding in the crowd. They never used to speak to the same workers they're walking with now. Leaders don't run.
That age like milk.
That age like rotten milk.
That age like milk, Mr. Rahman.
Conk slop in the hot sun.
Because there was some running today.
Yeah,
we
boy. Listen, wipe your mouth on that one. You was talking nanny on that one. Yeah, wipe your fingers because you were supposed to nanny on that one. No, you need to stop.
We're going to take a break now. You hear the music?
Yeah, but take the break, and on the flip side of the break, we'll get
all of the callers.
We'll get the callers, we'll get the texts, and we'll wrap things up. And we appreciate our special guest being so candid. And I think the Miami people appreciate you being so candid because now they know what's really going on. Yeah. We'll be right back here on Talking Heads. Don't touch it.
All they need is them big shoes. They'll be the perfect clown. Makeup $1 in their hair. Big clown nose and them Batman underwear.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape. A Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
The technicians at Muffler World on Mackey Street and Robinson Road can do a lot of things to make your car perform better. Like make sure the wheels are properly aligned, and that your brakes actually work, and that your car is using the correct oil and in fact has oil. Those same techs can replace your entire exhaust system. Check out Muffler World for the top of the line Walker muffler. Now if you want your ride to sound rude, Muffler World can help you there too with a system by Flowmaster. Muffler World, Mackey Street and Robinson Road. Mufflers and a whole lot more.
What happens when your faves team up? You get an original Asiago Bacon Club. Enjoy the iconicness with a bite into KFC's original recipe chicken filet, layered with Asiago cheese, crisp lettuce, tomato, bacon, our signature ranch, all on a golden brioche bun. KFC's original Asiago Bacon Club is made fresh, made right, available only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
We're back at ya on the Wednesday, October 15th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with Mary Jane and your company right up until 6 p.m. And our special guest, Bahamas Public Service Union President, Mr. Kingsley Ferguson, and of course, Bahamas Union of Teachers, Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress President Belinda Wilson. They're here with us. Candid show for the last hour and 43 minutes. And obviously, you know, we're going to wrap up shortly. But I do want to get some more text in before we wrap up. Naughty and MJ, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your guest. I'm a retired nurse. How into our nation can persons who are retired, example, permanent secretaries, get medical insurance, housing allowance, etc., and many of our retired nurses can't even afford medical insurance? This is madness. From MOU to FU, what a time. I'm sorry, but these texts are... Hey, Naughty, I thought he meant financial unit, but that... Good day, Naughty, to you and your panel. I just want to say disrespect is disrespect regardless if warranted. You don't disrespect your leaders openly. We like to talk about the young people, but this is the example they are learning from and will turn to and use against us. The Prime Minister may be wrong, but the respect you receive is the respect you earn. What kind of message are you trying to say with that? What about the respect to the Bahamian people that he works for? What about the respect to the workers who are owed? See, this is the kind of foolish political trollery that's got this country where it is. This is absolute drivel. More people and more unions and more leaders need to tell the PM what's really going on. Because he's circled by minions like you who will say, oh, it's a great job. Keep it up. Good job. Good job. They shouldn't talk to you like that. They should. No. The respect you receive is the respect you earn. And I feel that the PM has disrespected a lot of Bahamians and a lot of Bahamian workers in all of this, all right? So that kind of drivel ain't gonna fly here. Respect us who voted for you. Respect us by doing the job we put you there to do. Naughty, the PM, good afternoon to your host. I think Miss Wilson needs to apologize, then everybody will get paid. Naughty, they said before Christmas they will be paid. Now, understand the payment could be next, so you would never know. Naughty, the PM can't fire Mr. Wilson. That's his cousin. And furthermore, Mr. Wilson's father is top-notch in the PRP. The PM will be finished if you do that. All civil servants got to do is vote them out, even if they get paid. Wow. I mean...
I want to ask both Ms. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson, because I think the Bahamian people have heard a lot of information from you today. Some of it is very new information, and we're getting the details that I think we need to make, like a justified opinion on where we stand on this matter. One thing we do want to see, though, is some resolution, right? And you guys have been fighting for this for quite a few months now. Tell us what the next steps are. Tell us what it is. And I think I asked you this in a different form earlier, but I think it's good to repeat it again for the Bahamian people to have a clear understanding. What are your expectations for your members? And what is the next step, particularly if the Prime Minister refuses to meet with you?
Well, first of all, it's the Prime Minister on the government side,
right,
who walked away from the table.
Okay.
So we were always open for dialogue,
You're still open?
negotiations. We're still open for
Okay.
that. However, when we do have the meeting, we want to ensure that the requisite information that we've been requesting for the past 5 months is provided for us so that we'll be able to intelligently and give them some definitive answers. Failing that, then we would probably have to end up in the Labor Department and the Industrial Tribunal, etc. So the ball is really in the Prime Minister's court.
And if it ends up there in Labor or the Industrial Tribunal, that's more time
Yes.
between workers getting paid.
Yes, oh, definitely.
Because there's more hurdles and red tapes and obstacles and so on and so forth. All right, let's get back to text signs real quick. Naughty and MJ, let them know, no money, no votes. I mean, people just call with it now. Simon Wilson, as a politician, is too crude to be hired twice for 2 non-consecutive 5 years, filling his own money bags. I wouldn't call Simon a politician now. Naughty, these are some very serious issues. If our Prime Minister cannot remember, if his reports are insubordinate,
The persons who report to him.
Tim would be insubordinate, correct. I want Mr. Wilson to be my lawyer. Miss Wilson to be my lawyer. She always gets the job done. Naughty and MJ and your guest. The PM don't care about public servants. He considers them peasants. He's already taken all our land, given all his people papers, and he has billions of our dollars in his back pocket by taking our sovereign wealth fund. His bag's been packed from 3 years ago, and he and his family is set for life. What is he checking for? He's did what he had to do. He doesn't care about the workers. Let's go to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Hey, Naughty and MJ, sorry to call back a second time. I just want to remind the Bahamian people that now that the Bahamian people are hearing the views and the mindset of the average Bahamian on the ground, following the story, listening to what's going on, watching on TV what's going on, it paints a picture that some of us have already known for quite some time. There is no true respect for the average worker in this country. I've been in the union for many years in the hotel sector, and I'm going to tell you the same thing applies even for the workers the Bahamian workers in the hotel. There is no true respect for the average Bahamian worker who is supposed to represent the middle class in this country. And it is just pathetic. When some of us talk about it, it really brings back memories of the fights that we had to go through just to get what is really ours under the agreement. And Mrs. will be correct. When you talk about, you give that broad range between 3% and 8%. In the hotel union, we actually had a fixed amount where every worker in that bargaining unit could look forward to. And it was always assigned to a time that we can look forward to, except for in the later years where the government kicked the can down the road and we did not. The hotel union did not get the monies at the times that was agreed to get them. And, it's just that. This whole thing in my closing remarks is this. until we find a government and until we get a government that truly cares, not lip service, but through service to our working, hard-working, middle-class Bahamians, this country, in terms of the workforce, will not improve in any way, shape, or order. You know, and that's all I have to say on this. My heart is sad today for what I hear is going on in this country for the average worker that works very hard to make these systems and the services in this country work and cannot get justice financially to help themselves and their families. Thanks for taking my call.
Good stuff, Jeff. Appreciate it. Just let me make this one point. Naughty, can you please raise the attention to your guests, Mr. Ferguson and Ms. Wilson? Please check how many public servants in middle management, in particular in the out islands or family islands, who have not received what is due to them.
Quite a number.
Let's speak to them.
Quite a number. I've gotten some calls from some assistant directors who haven't even had sight of any increases. And what is so amazing is these people were not properly categorized. And that is where they should have come together with the human resource managers and the unions to properly categorize these individuals so we can say, hey, this is who will be receiving A, and this is who will be receiving B. And so there are persons in the family island, they screaming. They want answers. I got some people calling me from Elutra, and they're spearheading departments, particularly the Department of Environmental Health. And so it is indeed a concern, and we're not equipped to respond to these people even to date.
Which is very disturbing. Ms. Wilson, I wanted to ask you about this because I know that in years past, there have been some kind of compensation studies for the public service and, you know, recommendations that the government was supposed to implement. When was the last time that happened?
You have two agreements in your
I
hand.
do. I'm looking at two.
2005 to 2010.
Okay.
That 2005 agreement was signed on November the 17th, 2006.
Correct.
My signature in there.
Yeah.
And if you look at the article that you were reading, where the employer agreed to do a compensation study, and we are to be the benefactors of.
Yes, it says that employees will benefit from any recommendations implemented by the government.
Then 2010, 2013.
Yep.
42.21.
I'm looking at that.
There should be a compensation study.
Yeah.
Right. So what
the
I'm saying,
employer has conducted a compensation study for the public service. The results of the compensation study highlight the disparity in salaries between education personnel and other public and quasi-government employees with the same qualifications. This is crazy. All employees under this bargaining unit shall benefit from any recommendations as per this study effective July 1st, 2012.
Okay, so the only compensation study that happened was in 2009. We have a copy of that.
Okay.
And as the Prime Minister rightly said, nobody ever did the compensation study and paid y'all. That's why we fired them.
Right.
Could I say something?
Go ahead, Mr.
We have the University of the Bahamas right across the street here.
Correct.
It was agreed between the University of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Public Services Union on behalf of the bargaining unit that we represent that from 2019 to 2024, there shall be a salary review. Now, the Minister of the Public Service and Labor, or Labor and the Public Service, they've been hearing us agitate in the public domain about this salary review. But instead of her saying, let me mediate between these two parties to see what nobody has stepped up to the plate. We would have had one meeting with Deloitte & Touche, and we had some people speaking Indian talk. We couldn't even hardly understand what the people were saying. And it was a Zoom meeting. And so, again, to date, those persons at the we're going into a new agreement now, negotiations. And that exercise has not even been embarked upon. We are very concerned for our people that we represent at the University of the Bahamas. In 2014-2018 industrial agreement for the Public Hospitals Authority and the Public Service. In 2016, there should have been a salary review. The government didn't recognize or carry out any of them. And so they shouldn't even lay claim to the fact that they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They should review these agreements and ensure that whatever was pending that was not done, get done on behalf of the workers of this country.
Got a text here. This is a simple matter, Naughty and MJ. No provision was made to pay the line staff of the public service. As a result, the PM, rather than being upfront, he tried to blame the union. Just tell the people the truth and fix the situation.
We agree.
It is starting to look like they never intended, and this is just my opinion, pay your members. Otherwise, they would have been a part of this study. How do you leave out so many public servants? Especially when we're talking about this kind of money, because I could do the math in my head with those increases. That was a lot of money, that particular exercise. So it does feel a bit disingenuous what's happening right now. Let me ask you both one last question, because you hinted at it earlier, you spoke about it, Mr. Ferguson, about one of your members who I think that video has spread around. We're all Bahamians. We all here. We all know that things are really rough right now. Groceries, very expensive. Electricity is through the roof. It's not easy right now. And so when you do the work and you hear that you're going to be fairly compensated and you expect that money, you make plans for that money. And unfortunately, it looks like a lot of your members don't even know when to plan to receive this money. Can you just talk to us a little bit so the Bahamian people get a clear picture about what some of your members are experiencing right now in this very expensive climate that we're living in, and why it's so frustrating that you can't even get answers?
Okay. The lady that you saw, she was a janitress
Yes.
at CV Battle.
Yes.
Her husband is home now, bedridden. She has to go out and swing a big heavy mop and pull a big heavy bucket behind her.
Yeah.
In the face of the fact that she needs to. We would have made efforts from time to time to pack grocery bags and take them to our members at the various schools.
Right.
And it brings just a slight bit of relief. But there are issues that she's challenged with, that she needs help, and her salary is not cutting the mustard.
Right.
Some of these persons' salaries are so maxed out that some of them have to write to the financial secretary and get permission to go below the debt ratio of their salaries so that they can survive. And so they're from loan to loan. The union offers loans, emergency loans. We do the best that we can to help them at a very, very, very low percentage rate. And so again, some people are finishing one loan and they're coming right back for another one. And so again, the janitorial, the support staff, and the security officers are very, 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 very challenged because some of them are just slightly above minimum wage who are not on the borderline. And so they're challenged.
A lot of people in this country are challenged.
One
right now.
lady said she had 9 children.
Mm-hmm.
Consider 9 children on the salary of a support staff.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. That is going to be
We want to
very
thank you guys.
Y'all running us already?
That's
Man,
it.
I wish we
That's
could
a
have
full
you
2 hours. That's a full 2
We're
hours.
just getting ready.
Hold on.
We're just warming up.
By the way, can I just say this before we get out of here? That Superwoman, that Supermana that I saw today.
Okay.
Props to you. I
Hold
love
on.
it. That
But
was
you know
excellent.
who created that?
Who did?
Rolly memes.
Really?
I don't. That's I told.
But I
you.
saw that.
Oh, wow.
I saw it on
And
social
you know how
media.
Rolly go.
I love that.
Rolly call the show, but y'all didn't give me my props.
Oh,
so-
I didn't know who did it.
Props
Shout
to
out
you,
to Rolly.
Rolly.
Okay, shout out to Rolly. Whoever Rolly.
I
is.
love
Rolly
that.
memes.
That was pretty
But
good,
I,
Rolly meme.
I saw it on social media.
I love
and I
that.
actually took it to the guy just to put a little
Right.
placard. He
Right.
said, "No, I can make you a bomb."
Why don't let's do this?
That was
I know
so
the saga
cool.
going to continue. If you need to pop in on Friday, you need to come in on Monday, you need to come in on Tuesday, whatever day, y'all have our
Yes,
info, you
always
call
welcome.
us, and I will make sure this platform is here. Because at the end of the day, we have to take care of Bahamians. And we're all affected one way or another by the service of the public service out there, good or bad. But at the end of the day, they're putting in the work and they need to be compensated. And it's further proof that we need a government that is going to be honest with its citizens regardless of political affiliation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
And
We
for everybody
appreciate it.
chiming
Thank
in,
the
calling,
people
texting.
who was there
And
today.
we'll do it again. And guess what? Just let us know. If you need to come in Friday, let us know. If you need to come in Monday, let us know. We'll make it happen.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
And everybody who chatted and texted in, good stuff. And we'll do it again right here tomorrow.
The people.
Joking